It's Game Boy World, and this is Revenge of the Gator. Finally, this is more like it. HAL Laboratory didn't make the most impressive first showing in its Game Boy debut. Shanghai was a competent and enjoyable enough port of the PC Classic, but it was nevertheless someone else's game. And on the technical side of things, there's only so much you can do with the concept. Revenge of the Gator, on the other hand, is more the kind of product we've come to expect from the company that has remained one of Nintendo's closest collaborators through the years, and a mainstay of the Game Boy family. While fairly limited in scope, it's a single-table pinball machine in video game form, the entire affair known as Revenge of the Gator simply shines with quality. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Revenge of the Gator is probably the most polished game we've seen on the system so far, save perhaps Tetris. The visuals and animation stand a step or two above what's strictly necessary for what amounts to a simple video pinball game, and the ball physics are top-notch. Issues of color and resolution aside, Revenge of the Gator plays every bit as well as contemporary PC Engine offerings like Alien Crush or Devil's Crush, if rather more traditionally. Everything in the game has an alligator motif for some inexplicable reason, and the table design really plays this up. A trio of gators on the lowest portion of the table alternately open and close their mouths to create portals with different effects, sending you up the board, activating a bonus game, or returning you to the ball launcher. Other gators have other effects, often helpful. If you can activate all the little hearts at the top of the launcher alley, alligators will appear in the lanes to the lower screen to prevent the ball from falling to the level below. On the other hand, once the ball drops off the playing field, it's devoured by a massive gator. So it's hard to say whose side they're really on, and just what kind of game they're all playing at. The ball moves quickly, much more so than we've seen anything move on the system so far, but the clarity of the visual design keeps it from ever becoming lost against the backgrounds. In fact, the stark backdrops serve a practical purpose, and the excellence of the visuals surrounding them prevent the game from looking overly sparse. Even with its high-speed play, Revenge of the Gator feels rock solid. The ball and flippers interact perfectly, and each screen of the table offers multiple interactive elements to aim for. The directional physics are actually quite impressive. The alligator snout bumpers that line the lower left of the table only retract if you hit for them from a side angle, and the ball simply rolls off the 3 gator mouth portals in the center of the table if it hits them from above. The table spans multiple screens vertically. The main playfield is a bit more than 2 screens high, presented in 3 parts. The middle screen shows an in-between view of the areas above and below. The transitions actually work more smoothly on the original Game Boy than this video shows. The slight redraw lag of the system screen creates a natural fade effect that feels less abrupt than it seems here, which is a clever example of harnessing the machine's inherent flaws for the power of good. Above the main board you'll find 2 bonus screens, the topmost accessible only by popping the ball into the center alligator mouth portal. This takes you to an entertaining hybrid of pinball and breakout in which you try to flip the ball into blocks propping up a wandering gator. Knock that gator loose and hit it as it falls and you earn an extra ball. The screen below that offers a different breakout variant, with blocks crammed into the upper corners instead. Additionally, Revenge of the Gator includes 2 different multiplayer options. You can play via link cable, or you can simply pass the Game Boy back and forth between balls. While ultimately a fairly simple take on pinball, Revenge of the Gator really accounts for just about everything you could need in a portable pinball title, making it one of the most impressive releases in the Game Boy's first year of life. But then, it's not as though HAL was any real stranger to video pinball. If Revenge of the Gator's structure and bonus levels seem familiar, that's because HAL had previously worked on Nintendo's first-party pinball for NES. This game carries over much of the fundamental design of that title, adds some refinements, and throws in the inexplicable alligator motif. Sure, there's not a lot to Revenge of the Gator, but like Tetris, it offered a perfect bite-sized play experience, executed masterfully, making it a must-have release for the early Game Boy days. And pretty fun even today, for that matter. For more dirt on Satoru Iwata's early career, keep reading GameBoyWorld.com.